I don't have my phone. Al has his laptop. Oh, we got to start the show with something amusing.
I did. I was making fun of that Al was bald. That's why he was wearing a hat, but you weren't recording.
Did I not have the thing on yet? Oh, that's a shame. Well, I mean, if we got it, then we got it.
Diddly? Diddle I?
Diddle you?
Diddle who? We are Beer Casuals.
See, we can start with that. I don't know what that means.
Well, it's like almost a scene from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Is it?
I said Kittleys, diddle I?
Yeah, one of the jokes that Data was telling.
Is that a good show? I haven't seen it.
You're so full of shit.
I couldn't tell.
I'm wearing my dirty shirt today. I probably look so bad.
I'm wearing the same shirt I think I wore last week, so...
There's no way to know what you wore last week. There's no way to go back and check.
There is, though.
So...
He's on Wowhead.
Did you turn it on? He's probably looking at the news. So...
Ooh.
Who are we?
Oh, no, I was going to say, good morning and happy Father's Day to anyone who happens to be a father. Happy Father's Day, Sam.
Thank you.
So...
I do both jobs.
Do you? I didn't think you did either.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. May the berry bells keep ringing. Oh, sorry. It's going to be weird. You're going to be here, but the rest of you will be over here on the screen.
No, because I zoom in the picture. I modify the picture when the video goes.
EverQuest is open on my computer.
It's not open. That's just the...
Oh, look.
By the way, I saw your badge.
I didn't even finish my thing.
Jim Bob is your username?
I made that username 24 years ago. Thank you very much. So, also, what's with the yelling? Did you yell? Somebody yelled. I didn't finish my greeting. I was saying Happy Father's Day to anyone who is fathers because we are recording this on Father's Day.
And then you thanked me, said Happy Father's Day to me. Just so you know.
No one can hear anything you're saying because you're not even remotely facing your microphone. But thank you for your input, Sam. Okay, say your things. You got to talk into your microphone.
I'm trying to open Discord.
You're creating Discord.
I knew I was going to say that because he says that all the time. Also, your mug isn't facing the right way. How are we supposed to know what mug you're using while you drink from your mug?
Al has 2 coffees going.
Is it hot in here or is it just me?
It's hot. I'm also wearing a sweater.
Why are you? Take the sweater off.
Well,
You're making me sweaty. Just seeing
I've already
the sweater.
committed, and it's going to look funny.
Sweaty is also...
Just take the sweater off.
Are you going to Oh, I thought you were going to dab your arm.
Sweaty is also another Google search.
Stop.
I'm still really loud over there, by the way. I'm barely talking, and it's...
It's like, yeah, why are you so loud today? I'm turning you down again.
I don't know.
See, now you're just intentionally yelling.
Yes.
So talk in your normal indoor Alan voice.
Hi, how you doing? Hi, how you doing?
Okay, so...
I don't know which one you want, but there's Discord.
Okay. Because I feel like today... Because we haven't done a lot. Let's, you know what? Let's open with our greeting. Welcome to Meerkat. No, we are Meerkat. What do we usually say?
I don't know. I don't listen to the podcast.
We are Mere Casuals, a World of Warcraft podcast that focuses on, that specializes, that revolves around, that does something to do with Wrath of the Lich King.
Wrath of the Lich King.
A World of Warcraft expansion. Maybe Cataclysm someday.
Can't wait till Cataclysm comes out.
Let's go to podcast questions. Oh, man, there's a whole bunch of conversation that I'm not aware of here. When was that posted? Does that say the 13th? Yeah, okay, I knew about that because that was a few days ago. I'm Josh /Will Riker /Will Riker.
I'm Sam /Rolaren.
Oh, you only have the one.
Yeah.
I'm Alan /Akona.
/Notagog.
Well, I've only been playing Akona, really.
Have you been playing Akona? I haven't seen you online much.
Did you make a new character?
Mostly because I haven't been
called
online much.
Like recently?
Possibly. No. I'm going to have to.
Okay, so here's
I have Righteous Squid.
No, you don't.
That's not how you say it.
So here's what we're going to do.
First of all, you're jumping on a bandwagon. Okay, just so you realize that you just jumped on a bandwagon because you didn't have an issue with Righteous Squid.
No, I didn't.
Nah, now you're jumping on bandwagon.
There's no bandwagons. There's no wagons at all.
Bandwagon
We're
jumper.
still good.
And I bet you like the Leafs too, regardless of the fact that they don't
Don't
even
like
make it out of
hockey.
round one.
They made it
Hey,
at
they
round
did
one.
this time.
I know, right? So yeah, all you Leaf fans got to use your shirts for another couple weeks. I'm gonna get kicked out of this house.
It was an
any
extra
second
week,
now.
but
I'm gonna
good
get
job.
kicked out of this house.
Sooner or later. What was I
But
gonna
just
do?
so you
I was
know,
gonna
if
say
I actually
something.
had cable and watched hockey, I would be a Leafs fan. I am a Leafs fan just for the distance I can participate in the enjoyment of the sport. I mostly
Weird
enjoy
sentence.
it through you.
See, the questionable sports team I have for Josh is Buffalo. Why are you a Buffaloes fan?
'Cause they have
There's
wonderful
gotta be a
wings.
better
No-
football team than the Bills.
Okay, so it's a geography thing.
Is it because it's
I'm a
closest
Leafs
to
fan
Toronto?
because we live near Toronto. I'm a Bills fan because Buffalo is the closest NFL city to where we live.
But aren't they, like,
and it's
the
who
worst?
we get in our home broadcast. And also, they were quite good last year.
Oh, okay. I don't watch football
and
either.
they have a borderline. If it weren't for what's some unknown Mahomes guy, I don't even know. He's nothing. If it weren't for some like Mahomes guy, he'd be like MVP quarterback, the Buffalo quarterback. But then there's the whole Kansas City thing. They think there's something special.
don't bring
they're
up
overrated.
that. We're not going to have any friends left.
Why? Because Kansas City's overrated?
I didn't say that.
Bring up what?
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 Kansas City.
Candace who?
Candace. What is it? Candace? What is it?
Candace was one.
Candace
No.
Smitty,
Okay, continue. I'm over it. I don't know what I'm saying now.
the mascot of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas is the word I was trying to say.
Candace Smitty of the Kansas City Chiefs. Is
Candace
that their
Smitty
new?
of-
I think that's their new.
Candace Smitty of the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's their new defensive back, Candace Smitty.
Last Candace I met had put some defense in her back as well.
So, anyways, that is why. that see, you're giving me indigestion.
No, that was the cheese.
Oh, was it the cheese?
Yeah, it gave me heartburn too.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Yes, Buffalo. There are better. No, see, it's just because it's a geography.
and they have good wings.
Because here's the thing, I hate the Buffalo Sabres. I used to hate the Buffalo Sabres. Now I pity the Buffalo Sabres because they went from being a bad team that at least beat the Leafs to just a bad team. So I pity the Buffalo Sabres. I'm not a Buffalo Sabres fan, and they don't have any other pro sports teams unless you count the Buffalo Bisons, which I don't. So there's the Bills, and there's no competing with Toronto for the Buffalo Bills because there is no Toronto football team. There's no professional football team in Toronto in any league.
Argos.
Oh, it's going to be like, that's wrong.
There's the Argos, but that's the CFL. The CFL doesn't really count or matter.
Does Canada even
I'm
have
not even an Argos fan. I'm a Tiger
a
Cats
football,
fan.
an NFL
Does what?
team? Does Toronto,
No,
Canada?
CFL.
No, there are no NFL teams.
We're not national. We're Canadian.
Yes,
Gotcha.
And we have the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Thank you. Thank you for your
It's
support.
Hamilton.
they smell
I
funny,
can
but you
smell
can't
it from
tell over
here.
the TV.
No,
'Cause-
that's me.
Oh, okay.
I'm from Hamilton. Actually, I want to go back there this weekend, but I can't.
This weekend, as in this weekend that's ending in a few hours.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's
Or
that
no,
is
next
why.
weekend.
Why are we talking about sports? Oh, Al started it.
Yeah, because
Oh,
AEW is
see,
going
I
to be
feel
there.
like I was going somewhere.
AEW is going to be in Hamilton.
No.
They're doing their Canadian run.
Congratulations.
But even better, because Ethan Page,
No.
the guy that I follow from wrestling, he's coming to his hometown. And he's
where
doing
is his hometown?
He's Hamilton.
Oh, is that why you like him so much?
Yep. And he's doing
Do you know
a couple
him? Did you go to
shows.
school with him?
Nope.
He's like half his age.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
young.
+5. But he's also doing, because he's going to be in town, for his local town, a local radio station is sponsoring a toy shop
Oh,
or some kind.
where's he going?
Pardon?
Where's he going? For a toy
Someplace in
shop?
Hamilton. They have good toy stores in Hamilton.
Do they? Because
Wait, are
I've
you
been looking
off?
for places. Am I off when?
That's when our holiday starts.
Next weekend? I have to work next weekend. My
Oh.
holidays won't start till Monday.
I'll check the exact date.
Because I'm always looking for new toy shops so I
Yes.
can buy.
Yeah, but
Well,
do we want to
things.
go to Hamilton?
But this is
they have good
one of the
collectibles.
stories where I can bring up AEW where you might actually be interested. So if we can go and visit a bunch of toy stores.
I'm only interested in toys. I'm not interested in the big sweaty men.
Well, it depends on how hot it is that day as to whether he'll be big and sweaty.
Don't they like induce sweat so they look all oily while they're wrestling?
No, they
No, it's
sweat
called
while they're
baby
Like,
wrestling.
don't they go in a sauna beforehand? Because don't they have to look moist when they? I thought the requirement for wrestling was you have to look moist
No,
because they all just look moist all the time.
you're probably talking about the long-haired people who wet their hair before they come to the ring.
Yeah, those
It's-
people too.
It's to keep them cool.
Is it because it doesn't look cool? It looks kind of sad.
No, temperature cool.
Really? That's why? It's not like a style choice? It's got to be a style choice. It's a style choice.
Well, it might be a style choice, but it does have the function of keeping them cool because they have long hair. They're going to heat up really fast in the ring.
Is that how that works?
Long hair?
Does wet hair not heat up?
I just heard
I was
that's
under
what
the
they
impression
do.
that water
I don't
could get
know.
warm.
I don't know the exact science behind it,
Well,
but
that's
they
why
wet
I
their
don't
hair
like
to
going
keep
to
it cool.
bed with wet hair. It's cold.
I just assumed, and I don't have a vast knowledge of wrestlers.
You're allowed to.
So
We
the
were just
one-
an assumption.
So the one that pops to mind, don't judge me on my choice of who to mention, but I just assumed that Shawn Michaels wet his hair because he wanted to look as sleazy as possible. He's
That-
when you
oh,
say
that may be
long-haired
true
wet
back then.
wrestler, he just strikes me as moist by choice.
Actually,
He's the sleazy
I don't know
one,
if
right?
he entered the ring with wet hair very often, Shawn Michaels.
He just became moist throughout the ring, the match.
I mean, Bret Hart was always moist, but he doesn't have overly long hair.
Is that picking up?
I don't know, probably. He had long hair, didn't he?
Bret Hart?
He had long hair. He had long
It was longer than
damp,
mine.
long damp hair. Yeah, whose isn't
I think
though?
everybody
My
has-
hair's longer than yours. And I barely
think
have hair.
Bret Hart's hair was greased.
Probably. I think they greased up all of them in that era.
Would you
And
like,
area.
And area.
Would you like me to make a wig out of my hair?
Oh, I thought you were going to offer to grease up my chest because you were going like this. And you were talking
No, I
about
was
grease,
picking up my hair.
so we can.
Ew.
That's sad. That's too bad.
That's going to be edited out, isn't it?
No.
What was I going to say? I keep trying to say things. I keep trying to lead into things, and then you start talking, and I get all confused and sidetracked, and I don't know what I've said.
Not my fault.
What
That
I
you're
wanna
easily
say.
distracted. I was told I need to learn to interrupt more.
I don't listen. So here, I remember what I was going to do. I was going to outline what we want to do for the episode. So we should start out with a quick news
We have outline.
in my head. I didn't write it down this time because Sam makes fun of my handwriting.
Well,
In my head, I have an outline. And in that outline, in my head, I picture us talking about the news real quick because there is some news, but it's not exciting news, but it's news.
Yeah, some of it's exciting.
And then spend, 3 to 3.5 minutes quickly going over what we did this week because I feel like we didn't do much this week. And then we're going to spend the rest of the episode talking about how was it put? Did you say it or did someone else say it? That we wanted to talk about like
I said it.
our visions for the future of WoW.
I said it.
I'm trying to find exactly the comment. Do you remember when you said it?
And it was in a private
Wasn't
chat
that
to
from
us.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it in our secret chat?
Was
So
in our
here's what I'm
secret
wondering.
chat.
So in Discord, because we have our how do I get rid of this? So we have our secret chat that is a locked chat that only us Special 3 have access to. Does that still show up on the channel list? Does everyone know there's a secret chat?
probably.
Or is it actually secret?
I think it shows
Because-
up. It just shows up as locked.
So people know that we have a secret chat.
Yeah, because all the other Discords, they had one that said officers, and it was always locked.
Do that? I thought you could like hide that, but I didn't hide it. So
Why is everything gone from my podcast questions since?
I
the
feel like
8th? You feel like what? It hasn't
that we were
reloaded
talking
anything.
about that. Okay, here
Oh,
we
there
go.
It just all of a sudden, you see, just all of a sudden pop from the 8th to the 13th there.
So, unless you have any hard desires, maybe we talk about what we liked and we were looking forward to in WoW. Okay, I'm going to read this out loud now. Unless you have any hard desires, just because I saw the word hard in a sentence coming from Al and I wanted to proofread it before I said it, like, confidently. Unless you have any hard desires, maybe we can talk about what we liked and what we are looking forward to in WoW This can come right from the suggested question from Falcon Mick.
Which, if you had to choose, would you go again with a fresh 2019 server? Or
I'm not done reading what you said.
I'm just interjecting this in, and then we can finish off what I said.
So Alan in Discord says era servers ? A fresh relaunch ? TBC era ? Kata ? And then he goes on to criticize me for some other choices I made. So
Let's go back
What
and
did
read
you do?
that. I don't know.
you were whining about me using the song that I made for my other podcast.
You know my wines are only
I
skin deep.
licensed it to myself. I gave myself express written permission to use it.
Yeah, I said I saw that you stole. I was mostly putting that down there so that you know that I am watching your podcast.
Listening. It's not in video form.
I go up and it has your name up there, and there's something for me to look at while I'm listening. So I call.
There's gonna be more because there's been some stuff that I'm gonna be talking about on that podcast because I have a lot to say.
I really wish I could handle the interface on that game.
I think you can get updated interface add-ons. I've just never wanted to because it's the whole it's what I'm used to. But it's a tough game to get into. There's barriers because there is no. So let's compare it to WoW real quick. So we are sort of talking about WoW. You know how when you play WoW, you start and you're given direction. Like you spawn beside someone with a quest, and that quest says, "Hey, how about you go talk to this guy?" And you go talk to that guy, and he's like, "Wow, would you like to go get me some wolf skin?" And you're like, "Okay." And then it kind of continues from there. You're constantly given somewhere to go. I don't want it to sound like I'm criticizing because I'm not, but you're guided through the game. You're given it's a directional game, so you always have something in your quest log pointing you to where to go, unless you drop all the quests and just choose not to. But that would be a weird choice. I don't know why you would do that. So on the other hand, you have
just raid logging. You don't need anything in your quest log.
But then if you're raid logging, you're already max level. And you've already made your way through the game.
Okay, so we're talking about the progress.
Yeah, so I'm talking about how you get into WoW and you immediately have direction. Hold on just a second. He just needs a drink opened. Oh my goodness.
He almost face planted.
Okay, you take it and go drink it, please.
Okay.
I'll show you this stuff later. Oh, you have mom's hair. You have mom's hair.
You were talking in the mic.
I am talking into the mic. So WoW you can start playing it and know nothing about it and still get into it without any trouble. Like you could be a brand new player and it's accessible. EverQuest on the other hand, you load up the game and you're just there and there is no indication of what you are supposed to do or where. So I can kind of understand how from a new player's point of view, you load in and you don't even start in a zone where you can do anything. Like you start beside your guild master, but there's not even there's a note in your bag that says hand this to your guild master, and you do, and then they're like, okay, here's a shirt, go on with your day. And there's no real you don't know how to get to where the stuff is to kill. You don't know where you are now. There's no. And when you started back in 1999, when you started, there wasn't even a map. And there was no way, there was no find function, there was no map. So you start in your city zone and you don't even know where the exit is, and there's no way to find out short of just wandering around. So I can understand how it's not the most accessible thing to do players.
Yeah, and then when you do get on with a friend, he'll take you somewhere and he says, "Okay, you see that snake? Kill it."
You and the snakes, you're obsessed with the snakes.
And you see that snake? Kill it. Okay, it's now we just kill snakes until we level up.
Yes, that's
Really?
the game. No, it's more complicated than that. But
It wasn't when I was playing.
We made elves, like wood elves or high elves or something. There's no snakes in those starting zones. Where are you getting the snakes from?
We had snakes. You said, "Don't grab those ones, you'll chain."
Yeah, that's in the dark elf area. Did we make dark elves?
We must have, because there were snakes.
But we went to Crushbone.
Dude, there were snakes.
Okay.
It's the only thing I remember of the game, because I was like,
we must have started more than one character.
killing
at some
another
point.
snake.
Yes. So news. We should pause for the news intro.
Was it your belly? No. Oh.
That was.
That was. Okay, so news. Al has been researching the news for several minutes now.
Yes. Well, there's a number. Well, we got a lot of news buds, news beeps, news notifications.
Before you get too far into it, just feel free to skip anything that's Dragonflight because I don't care, and I don't think anyone
this
listening
wasn't
cares.
Dragonflight. None of it was Dragonflight.
Because I know sometimes the WoW news feed, it lumps in the Dragonflight news as well, and it.
Oh no! Actually, I think I've modified it, so it's only going to give us TVC or
Wrath. Because
I can
Dragonflight
unmute
news is about as applicable to us as EverQuest.
Yeah, we don't get Dragonflight anymore. I went in and I took that out because it's.
Okay, so I should probably unmute it.
But a lot of it is guides. Anybody that wants to read the guides can just go in and read them.
Oh, the WoW-head guides.
Yeah.
I did see that.
So there's BIS guides, and there's a trailer for the Call of the Champions, which I watched the trailer when it first came out years ago. It's one of my favorite trailers. I'm surprised I haven't watched it yet, but I urge you to watch it. It's kind of cool.
For what, sorry?
For the next release.
The Trial of the Crusader?
Trial of the Crusader.
So I was getting Discord lined up so that I was at the point I wanted to start.
Yeah. And then the other news that's there is the Titan Room beta dungeons and the sidereal essences. And if you open up that link, it talks about them a little bit, but they do have a couple charts.
Do they have the costs?
Yes.
So how expensive is the stuff? Because you still get one per dungeon, right? Like only one per dungeon?
No.
Or did they change it?
Oh yeah, the final boss.
So just one per heroic beta.
Of each Titan Rune beta dungeon will drop a brand new currency. Side rail.
So give us a rundown of some of the costs. I want to know what we're looking at. How many weeks I'm going to have to spend.
Well, let's start at the bottom. Three side reels for a Crusader orb.
Oh, see, I don't want those.
Then it goes up to 15.
Oh.
Which
So you got me excited when you said 3. I was like, you can actually get a piece of loot for 3? But
yeah, so like the 15 gets you a few cloaks, petrified ivy sprig, which I figure is probably a wand.
Sounds wandish.
It is loading here. Some leather wrists, which leather wrists always seem to be in the lower.
So here's one question. Just you don't have to read them all off. I would like to know, and this is all 10-man hard mode, right?
10 mode hard man, yeah.
10 mode, 10 hard man mode. Loot, right? Alduar 10 hard man mode.
No, it doesn't specify. Yes.
I believe it is. Is it 230 something? 238 item level? If it's 238, I think 238 is the 10-man hard man.
Where do you see that?
It's yellow.
245?
Oh, there it is.
Maybe 245 is the level.
245.
Then. Okay. So how much does the two-handed mace... It goes
up. That's 38 for the 245s.
How much does the two-handed mace from Algalon cost?
Is that the Hammer of Crushing Whispers?
I believe so. Now, don't confuse it with the one-handed mace. How much is the two-handed? I'm just curious. I'm wondering how that compares to say 45,000 gold.
Bob, 38 essences.
38 essences. Okay, so that is 38 dungeons.
And that is a two-handed Hammer of Crushing Whispers.
See, I want that hammer on my paladin for
Is there anything good for me?
Good for
your
me?
priest? Oh yeah, there's probably lots of stuff. Oh, can you buy tier? Or is that's not hard mode, man?
Why would you want to buy him?
I barely know him. Tier
That's
tokens.
the 10-man hard mode. I don't
The
think I would
Citadel
ever do
lessons.
that though.
There's
So
an
you don't have
agility
to. That is, you get those from running alpha, beta, heroic, Titan Rune, beta, heroics.
There's an Ice Core staff.
Okay.
Is that priestly?
It's Stam and Int and Spirit.
Spell power?
Includes your
Crit?
it increases your haste by 106 and spell power by 626.
I think haste is good for priests. I think you want to like cap your haste.
I know nothing, and I don't really have anyone
Do
to
you
show
want?
me how to use.
Do you want
priest?
staffs or do you want one-handers and
know.
offhands?
I have no idea what I want.
I don't either.
The staff is good, but you can also get a one hand and an offhand.
Okay, so anybody listening, if you want to message me and like walk me through how to play a priest, that would be fantastic.
So
because there's nobody in this room right now who can show me how to do that.
Here's the thing. Everyone that listens to this podcast is a paladin. Our Mere Casuals Guild on Benediction is just all paladins.
So
There's
no one can actually...
Also, check this out. There's this page. It's called Google.
Okay,
And you
so...
can, no. There's more.
Listen.
Priest, Wrath of the Lich King.
Ooh, look for videos because they make videos.
Okay.
Like this.
Is there a priest version of that Simon guy?
Maybe.
Okay, so I understand I could Google it, but Josh sent me a thing.
Isn't Simonize like a furniture protector? Like, isn't it one of those things you spray on leather couches? Okay, what?
So I went down here and I got icy veins, priest class. So when you go over to icy veins, and I'm not being overly sarcastic here, I'm showing you, because unless you're absolutely against reading anything.
She needs videos.
Because here, look,
You like videos.
they've broken it down into chapters. So you don't even have to look at a lot. Race for priests, priest specializations.
She's already
Okay.
chosen her race.
So Josh sent me a link
It
to
was that
set
one.
up my shadow
It
form.
was the icy veins.
So
sent you
I
the
read
icy
it.
veins.
I set up my shadow form. I think I talked about this last week.
This
Okay,
isn't
but
I
what
don't-
do
was
more
looking for.
damage in my heal spec or my discipline or whatever spec I'm in.
Don't worry about
than
your shadow
form.
spec. Don't worry about your shadow spec. You want to be the best healer you can be.
Yeah, that doesn't help me when I'm by myself.
When do you play by yourself? Just play with us. You're 80 now. Do raids with us.
Are priests good in
Yeah,
Wrath
can
of
we
Lich
do
King?
raids in
Are
the
they?
afternoon?
Yeah. Priests have become a very powerful class in Wrath of Lich King, being extremely desired for both their healing and damage capabilities.
Oh.
Shadow Priests gain a much needed AoE ability, while both Holy and Discipline have received many massive improvements, making them
Okay,
one of
so
the
what's
best
the
healing
difference
classes
between
in
the discipline and the holy? Because they're both
It's pronounced discipline.
dis-
You pronounced it discipline. I thought it was funny. What is the difference between holy and discipline?
yeah.
Discipline is shield spam. You wanna keep your
okay.
shields up on everybody because you get bonuses to
That's
the
what
shields.
that's what I usually do.
And then heal when needed. Holy is, I think you can still use shields, but it's more healing. You use heals. Your discipline, you're preventing damage from ever happening.
Okay, so but I just feel like I'm playing my priest the same way I played my hunter.
You didn't even have a heal spell on your hunter.
No, it's not even that. Just I have specific things that I push. I don't even use everything.
No, nobody uses everything.
You do. I've seen your bar.
Well, that's different. It is, because paladins have, in order to be relevant at all, paladins have to use all of the things. So I have to have, like, all the things. Like, I have to have, like, my Blessing of Protection and, like, my Sanctuary. What's the one that causes less aggro? I think it's Sanctuary. I don't remember what they're called. I need my bubbles up there. I need my damage abilities up there.
Thank you.
Did you send it on the Discord?
Yeah.
Secret gem.
Yeah, like I have. You are arguably more useful in a raid as a disciplined priest with less buttons. I need
Okay.
more buttons because paladins are. They are an extremely simple class to play averagely and a complicated class to play well.
Okay.
So if you want to be a good, useful paladin, you have like 20 different abilities you need to use in a raid.
So, going back to our... Yeah, so...
Sorry, I sidetracked you.
No, that's okay. I don't mind
You were
being
talking about
sidetracked.
WoW still, so
I
it's
know.
a relevant side.
So, even though you saw it as an attempt to me being sarcastic, and I add a little bit of sarcasm into it, but I'm just trying to
It
get
wouldn't
you...
be Al if there wasn't any
Yeah,
sarcasm.
pretty much. But this is the page I was looking for, but this gives you an introduction into priests, rotations and cooldowns. It gives you an idea of what buttons to push.
Oh,
Are there videos though?
Gear,
No.
no, there's no videos. Spell summary, builds,
okay. I do know how to read.
builds and talents.
Not well, but I can read.
Here's what we need to do.
Builds and talents.
Make videos.
rotations.
And post them.
You need to become an expert on priesting and then make the how-to videos.
Your stat priority.
You can call yourself
Really hot in
Salmonize.
here.
That's just you.
Okay.
Stat priority, enchants and consumables. Gear, and this one of these will have gems. Probably builds, talents, and gems.
Yeah, what
Oh,
is
is
her top
anybody-
stat priority? Is it spell power? Because I know spirit comes in somewhere.
Are either of you two jewel crafters?
Yes,
Haste.
I'm a jewel
until-
crafter that hasn't finished leveling jewel crafting yet.
Oh.
Haste rating until soft cap. Spell power.
See, haste. I was right. You do need haste.
Crit. Haste rating past soft cap. Int, spirit, and MP5.
So spell power and crit and haste, basically. Well, haste and spell power, you need all of the haste and spell power.
I don't need armor penetration this time.
No, not at all. It does less than nothing for you.
Okay.
I don't
so-
think you can get caster gear with armor penetration.
Probably not.
So
don't
if
think
you
that's
if
even
you
a thing.
read about the haste rating until soft cap, it'll tell you what that is.
With soft cap.
Well, like you get to a certain level, and then
Okay.
you'll want to get other things before you go into more haste.
When you reach the soft cap, usually there's diminishing returns after.
Yeah.
Like there's like probably some spells that can only be effective like X amount by haste. Like you can only haste them up to a certain speed, and then anything after that, you're affecting less stuff. Probably would be my guess.
As a disciplined priest, you have a few things where you're not disciplined.
Yes, I am.
Issues.
Oh, yeah. So you got some things you can spec into, which will give you some haste. And I just was about to touch it, then I remembered I have a touchscreen. When you're raiding with people, Wrath of Air Totem, I have that, so that'll help make you a little bit faster. So
You don't have to cast that. That's a shaman totem.
Well, I
Yeah, so
kind
you
of
get-
figured when he said he
yeah,
had that.
so it gives you a 5% haste boost. So if you're specking for a raid,
Is this what you sent me?
yeah,
Okay.
if you're
That's the
specking
site.
for a raid, and you know that there's going to be a shaman, and you're always going to be around that shaman, then you can take what you have in haste down for 5%.
Oh.
And put it into something else because you're going to reach your caps with me in the raid.
There is always
Okay.
going to be a shaman.
Yeah, so
There should be anyways.
If you know,
But like,
you know,
will they always drop that totem?
Not necessarily. Depends on the shaman.
Okay.
Because there's a melee haste version as well. So if you have a very melee heavy raid, you should probably have at least one shaman drop in the melee haste. And then the priest haste as well. Well, caster haste. But that's all like raid composition.
Yeah, well,
You're
we're
never
not
going to
there.
have to worry about putting a raid together because you're not going to be leading raids. You just want to be good at playing your priest.
I do want to go to some raids. I just got to keep my eyes
Well, here's what
open.
we're gonna do when the new phase. That's the word I was looking for. When phase three, when phase 3 comes out and the Titan Rune beta dungeons come out, we're gonna do a bunch of those. So we've got the 3 of us. We've got Bob has said he wants to do some with us.
So has the Nettie.
We've
Nettie.
got Nettie. I think is a healer. I think he's a holy
and
paladin.
3 other level 80s.
And we've got
Odonis,
other people in our guild that have wanted to do
Smitty.
it.
Not Smitty.
So-
Smarty.
Marty?
Marty.
Smarty Marty.
Okay, I was right. How many is
Doesn't
that?
sound right.
Mad Marty.
Yeah. I'm confused now. Tinnitus? No,
No,
Tenderloin?
Terra Leon, Terra Lion.
I'm so bad with names.
Feel
And
free
has
to
anybody-
phonetically spell that
has
for us.
anybody heard from Mad Gene?
Mean Gene?
Mean Gene?
He's been playing Diablo 4 for the
Okay,
last little
so
bit.
he's good.
I
Okay.
want to play Diablo 4.
Yeah. He's still around. I was trying to get some people together to try and take down Bone Mass this weekend in Valheim
Okay.
so we can move along.
So that's that. So you can get a lot of good catch-up gear from doing those Titan Room beta
Because we need
dungeons.
to do the I can't say the word. The dungeons.
Heroic?
The hive. Yes.
Heroic.
the Hive dungeons.
We can't. I need to do those so I.
So
get
that'll
more
be
gear.
a double good for you, right? Because the Titan Room beta dungeons will drop non-hard mode 10-man loot from the bosses, and it will drop the sidereal essence for the
hard
man mode.
Okay.
So you can double up on your gear because you just have basic level 80 gear right now.
Yeah, I don't even think I have
So-
anything good.
It's expensive getting other things. I know.
Like the BOEs,
Yeah.
they're actually way cheaper than they were on the other server.
Well, I don't have a lot of money, so it's expensive. So yeah.
like
That's why I've got a few.
So I've got my prots back, right? On my paladin on Ash Candy and my paladin here. So I like the shield. I forget what it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but the BOE shield that drops from Hodir in Alduar. That's a good shield. It's a great prot shield. It's BOE, so you can get it right off the bat if you want to. I bought one of those because I was an off tank, not a main tank, in our guild on Ash Candy, so I was never allowed to actually get the shield. That when it dropped, it had to go to our actual tanks who never showed up for raid except for the nights when they drop, because I lost so many shields to people who didn't actually raid.
I know. Like, it's the guilds we join.
Like, do you remember
I guess.
in Nax? Do you remember when we used to do Nax? There's a shield, the wall.
I don't
I
think
think
I
it's
ever
the
did
Wall of
Nax.
the Dead, and I don't remember what it's called. There's a shield that drops off KT in Nax, and it was at the time in Phase 1 the best shield. And I wanted that shield. And I was doing a lot of tanking in Nax because it was usually just me and the main tank. But we had a warrior tank who showed up once or twice. And the one raid that we went to, that he was there for the whole raid, he wasn't even tanking, but he had tank as his main spec. So we get to the end and that shield drops and it was given to the warrior. He never came to another raid. So I didn't
Just
get my
when you were
shield there. And then we get to Alduar and we're doing Alduar and I'm still using my badge shield. Like, the one you get with the heroic badges, like item level 200, like barely an epic shield. I was still using that in Alduar for like many, many runs. Like for weeks I was still using that. And finally I was like, okay, I need a better shield. The only one that I really want is the Hodor shield. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy it. I spent 15,000 gold on it.
Jeepers creepers.
It was a good shield, but that's what it cost over there. And then we're over on Benediction now, and I was like, okay, I'm 80. I'm working on my ret spec, but I want to have that. At least I think I want to have a tank off spec. I'm having second thoughts, but I've been building a tank off spec either way. So I bought that same shield. What do you think I paid for it on Benediction?
4,200.
8,000.
Just a touch under 3,000.
I
said 8, but I meant...
It was so much cheaper. What's going on?
Fusion Blade. 38 Sidereal Essence. That'd be good.
What's the Fusion
She can
Blade?
sword and board as a priest, right?
Priests can't use shields, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Not that kind of shield anyways.
Can they carry a shield?
No, I don't
No.
believe so. I
Okay,
think they have to
then
use
she can sword
offhands.
and offhand.
Why?
Fusion Blade.
Is that priest usable? Because I know warlocks can use swords, but I don't think priests can use swords.
Okay, well that sucks.
I think
Honestly, don't know if priests can use swords or not.
I am pretty sure I know warlocks can use swords. I think mages can use swords.
Yes.
And I don't think priests can use swords. Like, I don't think they can. I think they're like mace staff. I think that's all priests
Mace
can use.
makes sense.
I don't even know if they can use daggers. Like, I don't think priests can use, like, weapons. So,
A mace is a weapon.
in the right hands, in the hands of a priest, it's a stat stick.
So anyway, the weapons are the 38 Sidereal Essences. Then you go down to 32.
Like, even the one hands? Are the one hands and the two hands both 38?
The Fusion Blade is one hand. Yeah.
Because that's kind of good. I know originally when they put out the list of costs, I think they had, my arm's looking at your shot. I think they had the two-hander as like significantly more expensive than everything else.
There are other weapons lower down on the list.
Okay, because I know the comment was made that warriors want 2 of that two-handed weapon, and I think it was originally listed as like 45, and everything else maxed out at like 18. And it was like, oh, poor warriors, they're going to be like doing these dungeons for like weeks trying to get 2 of these hammers.
There's 2 main hand weapons in the 38. Other than that, they're all two-handed.
Oh, okay.
So I guess because these main hands are meant for
How many
classes-
two-handers is there? There's the Yogg one, the Algalon one.
Yeah, so
Is there a two-hander
There's an
off of
XT.
hard mode Vesix?
XT. This one doesn't say where it drops from.
What's it called?
Ice Core Staff.
Ice Core Staff. I don't remember that one.
Then there's General Vizax.
Oh, it's a staff? I think that's Hodor, dear.
General Vizax.
Vizax is the pole arm, right?
Nog Saron. That's Tortured Earth, which is a staff.
In the dark. Oh, wait. I think I'm confusing. I think I'm thinking the 25 for some of these. But yeah, whatever. So there's some two-handed options.
So
I
then
need
you
a
go down,
two-handed weapon so bad.
you go down to the 32 Sidereal Essence. You get the Breastplate of the Timeless or the Zodiac Leggings. That's all that's in there. 25 for a few more weapons. There's the Masticator.
What?
Perilous Bite. Ooh, fancy dagger. Shiver. Yeah, there's a bunch of weapons. The Ice Layered Barrier.
Is that the shield?
Yep.
Nice.
Spell Power Shield. Then you go down to 24 from 25, and there's got a few more.
Hey, that's
Dark
one less
Matter.
dungeon. It's a big deal.
Dark Matter in there. Cool. Then you go down to 19. There's more things. All armor. Then 15. 15 is weapons.
Has weapons?
Yeah, thrown weapons.
Oh.
Fingers. Not throwing fingers, it's rings.
Start chucking fingers at people.
So 15 is the thrown weapons, the weapons you don't use too often, and the jewelry.
Okay.
And then, of course, 3 for the Crusader Orb.
Waste of essence. You can buy them off the auction house for like not very much gold.
Now, I didn't do a lot of alpha dungeons, but it looks like the beta dungeons are throwing an extra into it. So Utgard Keep, Utgard Pinnacle, they both have the Glaciate, which we had with the alpha.
The what? Oh,
Yeah,
like the
trail.
effects. Okay.
But melee attacks, so part of the beta, melee attacks have a chance to Glaciate and Fire Blast a random nearby target.
Nice.
Fire Blast
Do
is
they
new,
cancel each
right?
other out? I don't remember there being Fire Blast.
Yeah. AN and AK. Or
Okay.
OK. They have the web wrap. That's it.
And they didn't add anything else? So does stuff just have more health and damage or what?
Yeah, well, I don't know what it was before, but damage is increased by 40%. Health is increased by 120.
Is that over the alpha or over the normal?
I'm going to say over the normal.
Doesn't seem like a lot. Yeah, 40%. I guess that's a lot.
That's the damage they do, but their health is more than double.
120%?
Yeah.
That's like not more than double.
If they were
If something's 120% of normal,
increased by 120%. So if it was 100, it's now 220.
oh, okay. That's just a weird way to word that.
Yeah. The troll ones, they have the Blood of the Loa, which if you stay in it, they're going to lifesteal from you.
Oh, I hate that.
And then you get Titan Energy from the Dwarven things, which increases player damage by 1% per stack for 12 seconds.
Oh, okay. Because I think, wasn't the like storm Halls of Stone and Halls of Lightning, weren't they just added damage last time? They didn't have like an
Yeah.
effect?
Okay, so here, this is interesting. Pulsing purified Titan Energy that increases player damage done. Increases player damage done
Yes.
by 1% per stack for 12 seconds. Perhaps enough energy will grant assistance from the keepers themselves.
I feel like there was a side effect, though, because I remember hearing that.
I think that's the side effect.
I don't know.
But yeah,
I
I
guess
don't
we'll
know.
see. Like, I'm kind of curious about that one because that sounds weird.
Nexus and Auk and Violet Hold, the mirror.
Oh, are those three like linked?
Well, they all have the same effect.
Oh, I was wondering what Violet Hold factored into. I guess it factors into the Borean Tundra ones.
Yeah, because they all have the blue dragons.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess they do. Yeah, I never really thought of that before.
Calling a strat,
Still the
You-
zombie plague.
you get infected. Trial of the Champion.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So, here it is. Beta empowered Gladiator Rune. Damage increased by 40%. Health increased by 120%. Spectators look to be more fired up than usual.
I wonder what that means.
Interesting.
I feel like there's people that know because they've like tested it out on the PTR, but I
Yeah,
have no
they're
idea.
going to be more informative. Okay. What's the word when you're going to... I don't remember. There's going to be more informed podcasts.
Okay.
But we're mere casual, so we haven't done this. We haven't PTR'd it. We're just reading about it.
Still sounds cool. So now you were saying you didn't do a lot of the alpha dungeons. I think a lot of people didn't, but I think the beta, what they're doing with the beta dungeons makes them way more appealing than the alpha ones, because the alpha dungeons, all it allowed you to do was to get 10-man Nax loot, which was very easy to get anyways, and not particularly great. So getting that 10-man Nax loot, what was that, like item level 200? Like, it was not good. It was barely better than the regular heroic loot. And it's not like there was any barrier to complete it. Like, any 10 people could basically clear Nax 10-man, as long as you have a tank and heals and DPS. Like, it was not a hard raid. Whereas the 10-man hard mode for Ulduar was difficult, is difficult, and there are people that have not been able to complete it. So there is a barrier to get that gear, and there are a lot of people that still need it. So being able to get the 10-man loot with currency to get the hard man loot as well, hard mode loot as well, it makes the beta dungeons, I wouldn't say necessary, but much more appealing. So where before I think the alpha dungeons weren't that popular, I think the beta dungeons are going to be, at least in the beginning, much more popular, because there are going to be people especially trying to go for that 10-man Algalon loot, because there's some very good stuff there that's worth doing a few days worth of world tours to get. Like, it's really good. It's really good gear.
It'd be nice to get a couple world tours in there, because I wanted to do that with just the original. But
yeah, like I would love to get that Algalon hammer.
You want to do a world tour?
I don't know what that means.
We start at one dungeon, we do them all.
Yes, I said that last time.
Can you stay awake that long?
No.
Trial of the Champion.
Does that have to be done in one day?
Well, that's generally what people do, is they'll sit down and they'll just do all of them.
Oh.
I didn't realize that Trial of the Champion was only a 2-boss fight.
Is it? I haven't done it in
no.
forever.
This one's just not highlighted. It's 3. So you got the
Okay.
Grand Champions. I didn't see that. So you have the Grand Champions.
I don't remember the Trial of the Crusader 5-man. I don't remember doing it.
Well, you have either Eadrek the Pure or Argent Confessor Paletrus come out, and you have to fight them.
Still don't remember.
So Eadrek is the one that you pick up. He's the middle guy when you're picking up the dailies for the trial
Okay.
in the pavilion.
Like the guy from the first couple? Like, you know, you have to do like 3 days worth.
No. The guy, once you become the champion of a place, you get the one where you can do the threat from above and all that other jazz.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
So he's the pavilion on the other side. You turn left.
The square
You
pavilion
go
guy.
see him. Yeah, he's the guy that's in there. Paletrus is going to show up once the place is built. Actually, she might even be roaming around. I'm not sure. Once the place is built, and you have the Valkyr, or those nascent Valkyr come down.
Okay.
She comes out and rushes them off. So you get one of those two. So you have to do it a couple times to try and get them both. And then you get the Black Knight at the end. You know, the guy that we beat up and he ran away.
Right. Okay. So that's cool. Like, I'm kind of looking forward to that. Doing some of those, getting some loot, maybe getting a 2-hander. Need a 2-hander so bad. So is that it for the news? Because I know there was there some other stuff that matters, or was that the main news story?
That was it. The rest of them are just guides for BIS and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, we don't need it. People can find that stuff on their own. Just
They have
look
a
up your
loot guide for
your
Trial of the
best.
Champion. But what I'm looking forward to is occasionally seeing, I think it's Thrall and who's the other orc?
Gorash?
No.
Rajax?
No, the guy that takes over for Thrall.
Javax. Thorum.
Garrosh.
I just said that.
I know. Thrall and Garrosh should start walking around every now and then. They kind of arrive and do a little tour. Garrosh is grumpy, of course.
Yeah. I'm used to being around grumpy
Yeah,
people.
so I'm looking forward to this a little bit.
What makes
But,
you think I'm talking about you?
Who else would you be talking about?
I know other people. None of them are as grumpy as you, but I know other people.
Sorry, that wasn't funny.
Al laughed. It's his fault. If he didn't laugh, I wouldn't make jokes like
Can't
that.
wait till this. You see this here?
What?
What is it?
It's a giant little floaty thing. We got to walk around between a bunch of them. Eventually, we'll get into one where it has like is a 3 or 4 sided cube.
I don't know what you're talking about because
it's
I
a
can't see
cube,
your screen.
It's one of the dungeons coming out with the ICC.
Oh,
And
right.
you get the guy with the faces.
I remember doing them, but I don't remember details of them. It's been so
Do you know what
long.
one I want to do?
What?
AQ40. Do we actually need 40 people for it?
Here's the thing. Hold that thought.
Yes.
Just hold on to that thought. So we're done the news.
News lasted longer than I expected it to for one shot.
Well, it's
This is-
because we talked about the beta dungeons.
actually having the information in front of me makes me feel a little less scattered when I'm talking about this. I like it. I like it a lot.
So Al is news guy now.
Well, I mean, you complained when I first brought my PC over. I go, that's not inconvenient, but no, it's so
I
much
didn't
nicer.
That's a
Plain.
laptop.
It's a PC laptop because it's not Apple. So we're done the news. That's it for the news. Let's spend
And you haven't
brief.
been putting my news outro in.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of lame anyway.
It is. We got to make a new one. It was something we just kind of quickly made that just, I don't know, wasn't great.
Didn't stand the test of time.
No, it was a thing, and now it's not a thing anymore. Yeah. We should make a new one, but not right now. So let's very quickly, because we have a discussion to have later. We have a planned discussion today.
Yes, and then I have
so
to
let's
cut
very
this short at
quickly.
some point.
Did you guys do anything this week in game? You didn't really play.
Was it this week when I hit 80? Or
No, it was
No,
last
that was
week.
last week.
I've
I
been-
feel like we're in kind of a almost a break, waiting for all this new content to come out.
No,
Well-
I'm just waiting for friends to play with.
I have asked you multiple times, almost every day. I've been like, "Do you want to get in and play for a bit?" And you're like, "No, the TV's not going to watch itself." So I ask you to play every day, and you say no.
Yeah, I've been getting on at night, and you're always off when I get on.
I've been going to bed early because I've been working mornings all week.
You always get off when I get on, and and what?
So the only thing I did all week was a brief raid last night, and so I timed it. So Bob messaged me last night. He's like, "You available? We have an open spot in their weekend raid. They're 25 man. I think it's an alt raid." He's like, "We have an open spot. Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Sure." I was like, have you guys already, like, what time? He's like, "Well, we're on XT now." So I was like, "Okay," because I was picking Oliver up. I was picking a child up. Am I allowed to say he's a grown up? I didn't say his name. I was picking him up, and I was like, "Okay, well, I'll be home in like 20 to 30 minutes. I can get on that." So I get home, and I message him. I was like, "All right, I'm back. I'm just booting up the computer." And that is when I started turning on my computer to get into WoW, right? 23 minutes later, I got into game. It took me 23 minutes to load WoW. And I was telling him, I was like, "You know what? Sometimes I'll turn this on. If I'm playing by myself, like if I'm just getting on to do some dailies or do whatever, 2-3 minutes, I can be in game. If somebody's waiting for me, it's going to be half an hour." It's like it knows. But like it took me 23 minutes to get into game. It was ridiculous. It was the worst thing, and it's so embarrassing because like I know they're waiting for me. And I know Bob's telling, he's like, "Oh yeah, someone's on their way. He's just logging in now." And like 15 minutes later, he's like, "Where are you?" Like I'm still loading. Like I don't know what's going on.
Well,
it's literally the worst.
that's part of what I did this week.
You
Timed yourself.
you
on
loaded
how to load
into
your
WoW.
game.
Like it took you all week. I thought it was bad that it took me 23 minutes.
No, it was just part of the tasks I did this week.
Would you like to elaborate, or would you like us all to assume you're talking about loading?
I was
WoW
waiting
for
to
the
see if
entire
you were
week?
going to continue.
No, I'm
so I will
literally
elaborate.
sitting here looking at you, waiting for you to elaborate.
So I got my shaman up to 80.
That was last week.
And yes, I know. That's why I said so. I got past tense. So I was gearing him up. I was doing some of the trial stuff, getting him up to the champion level.
Mm-hmm.
I managed to get a good one-hander, so I'm still down to an heirloom. I'm trying to get the heirlooms off of me, but I got the Unholy Persuader.
What is that?
It's the fist weapon from the Evan Knights.
Oh, okay. Like from the tokens.
No.
No, from the vendor.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. The tokens.
Is it a main hand?
It's an offhand.
Okay.
Today, if I do
Because
it,
you know about speed matching, right?
yes, I know
Okay.
about it. This is a 2.5, but I think is it today? Wait, I got 10, so not today, but tomorrow. If I do the dailies today and tomorrow, I'll have at least 25 tokens because they give you 10 on this one shot, and I'll be able to get a main hand weapon.
From the
Token
trial?
one, the trial one, yeah.
Okay. Because I think 2.5. What is the?
They're level 200 though.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think you should do 10-man Nax and try and get the Wrath Strike. I think it's called Wraith Strike. Off of Mexina. That will last you a long time, and it's a pretty easy raid to do.
So
We could even I'm interrupting, but we could even probably, there's already between us and the people hanging out in the Mere Casuals Guild, that's half a raid or a little bit more there. Like we could probably gather up enough people to just run 10-man Nax. Well, for both of you really, but that weapon for an enhancement shaman is like comparable to some of the Alduar ones. Like it's good. especially if you can get. I think it's a 2.6, might be a 2.5, but it's not too hard to match to a good offhand. I know the one that matches it speed wise, the one that you like used to want with it was the Stray, which now drops in Calling of Strathhome.
Oh, okay.
So Wraith Strike, I can't remember what it's called. That weapon and the Stray is a good Nax era combo. And then once you get into Ulduar, I believe the hammer off of Thorum matches that speed, so you can change that in and keep the Stray as your offhand. And then there's another one. I think there's an offhand that can drop in Ulduar that matches the speeds as well. But you want to keep your speeds the same. There's also no shortage of dagger offhands that you can get. But you want...
Daggers were never helpful for me as a shaman when I was leveling in retail.
See, they're an iffy choice, but because they're not a bad choice. You just need to get a fast caster main hand that matches the speed. So, like for example, I think it's the Torch or something that drops off of KT and Nax. It's like a 1.5 or 1.6 speed. And you can match that with one of the Ulduar offhand daggers. So you still have your super high spell power main hand matched with a high DPS offhand dagger. It doesn't have the same damage per hit, but it has that fast, it's high DPS. So it does actually work out in the end. It can be a bit tougher to sneak lightning casts in if you don't have your full Maelstrom weapon buff up, but it's doable. Like I know shamans generally prefer like a 2.5 or 2.6, but it's doable with that fast weapon. And it looks super cool when you have all that damage coming up from the fast weapons.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to try. Maybe I'll give it a try. Maybe I'll just have both sets going. Why not?
If you run a Nax and you get I can't remember what it's called. I think it's the Torch of something. If you run Nax and get that Torch, that 1.5, 6, 8, whatever the speed is, that fast main hand caster weapon, it's worth getting and holding on to and trying it out with an Ulduar dagger, because I feel like the daggers, the offhand / one-hand daggers drop a lot in Ulduar. And I know with our guild, we never had rogues, so they got disenchanted a lot.
Yeah.
So it might not be hard to get your hands on that. Like that's one thing. I wanted to try that combo on my enhancement shaman. I just never got that fast main hand, so I never got to try it. So
yeah, I can't wait till they open up the transfers over to Benny.
I don't know if they're ever going to, but that would be cool. I would, because then I would probably. Here's the thing. I don't know. I mean, I might transfer both, but I don't know if I'd rather transfer my. I guess it depends on what gear I have at the time. If I was able to transfer right now, I would absolutely transfer over my paladin, because I want to have a geared paladin. I hate the fact that I don't have a weapon on my paladin. It's driving me nuts. But if
So
I
how
was
many paladins do you need?
22.
I only need one. But my best paladin is on the wrong server. Like I want to be able to go to, like on the 20th, I want to be able to go to like Trial of the Crusader with a paladin that doesn't suck. Like my gear score on my Ash Candy paladin, even without because I didn't do any hard modes. I didn't get any hard mode loot. I guess I did a couple hard modes. I didn't get any hard mode loot. My gear score is like 4,900, which is pretty close to as good as you can get without starting to get hard mode loot. My gear score on my paladin on Benediction is 4,300, which is a big difference, especially when the bulk of that is my embarrassing weapon. So, but if I was to get gear on my Benediction paladin, then I'd transfer over my shaman, because I love playing my enhancement shaman.
Now, I've also been using my Arrested XP guide.
Oh,
using the completionist.
Did you use a promo code when you bought it?
Yes, it was Mere Casuals.
Oh, good call.
I saved
People should use that.
5%.
And we gain a percent.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
people save money, and we get small amounts of money that allow us to pay for what it costs to make a podcast.
Yeah. And
So, do you like it? Does it work?
yeah, I've been using it to get the emblems of heroism. The ones that they give you in the quests.
And you said that's like a completionist thing
Yeah.
that's included?
Yeah, there's a few other options, which don't ask what they are because I don't have them memorized. Well, one of them is trial. One of them is the trial. You can complete the trial.
Thirsty.
But I know how to complete the
Ran out of
trial.
coffee. Oh, okay.
I know how to complete the trial, so I don't need the completionist for
vodka.
that.
I don't like glass straws.
But I got enough that I got.
What is that?
Vodka.
Oh, that's the peach one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got a relic
A relic.
or whatever it's called.
Like the range slot, like totem slot?
Yeah, totem.
Totem. It's a totem, not.
So I got it.
Is it. No, relic is DK. Yeah, totem is shaman.
Is it okay? I thought it was totem, but totem was what we throw on the ground. I thought.
It's confusing. It's also a totem.
Yeah, so I got the totem because the only thing I had was the collective totem, which is what they gave you when you boosted.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that, and I got was either a ring or a neck. I forget. I got another piece, and I'm still saving up for.
I don't think you can get a ring with heroism. It's probably a neck.
Okay,
The ring is valor.
Yeah, the totem's nice. I like it.
Which one is it?
Totem of splintering
What's it do?
increases my wind fury attacks.
Oh, and you use Wind Fury?
Yeah.
Oh, I do not.
Why I do one and then the other, but I'm going to start changing it up and seeing if 2 wind furies are good.
They're not.
No, so keep the
Flame Tongue is by far your best choice.
Okay.
Especially if you've got a spell power main hand. You get so much damage from that Flame Tongue.
Like Wind Fury and Flame Tongue.
No, Flame Tongue.
Well,
What I do, and this is kind of the min-maxy way to do it, is I put rank 9 Flame Tongue on my main hand, rank 10 Flame Tongue on my offhand, and just my spell power beefs those up so much. And you want the higher rank on your offhand because of your Lava Lash hits with your offhand. So you want the extra from that.
gotcha.
And your main hand is your spell power weapon, so it's not hitting for as much. But you want that
Why can't you do 10 and 10?
because there's There's an internal cooldown on the proc. So if you have 2 rank 10s, and you have 2 matching speed weapons, which you're supposed to have, for I don't remember what the reason for that is. There's a reason. I'd have to check it again. I don't remember the reason, but you want matching speed. So you want like 2.6, 2.6, 2.5, 2.5.
Yeah.
If you proc, because Flame Tongue goes off every swing. So if you have the same rank, there's an internal cooldown, and when they proc at the same time, only one can go off. But if there's a rank 9 and a rank 10, they can both proc at the same time because it doesn't trigger the internal cooldown.
Nice.
So you want the rank 9 and the rank 10, and you want to have as much spell power as you can get, and you want to use the Flame Tongue. And you'd be surprised how much better it is than Wind Fury. Nice. Like it makes a noticeable difference.
Well, I've already purchased the totems, so
I think there's one that drops that affects your lightning or chain lightning or something. I think that's the one I'm using.
okay. Well, I'll get another one later.
I mean, it does. I mean, heroism. So you get so many of them, you're going to run out of things you can buy before you run out of heroism tokens. So it's not like a problem.
Well, I don't think I would actually.
You can get like over 200 of them.
Well, on the quests,
Yeah, from between Ice Crown and Storm Peaks.
there's 3 zones that give them.
Zeldrak gives a couple as well. Yeah, you can get like I don't remember the number, but you can get like 200 of them. Like
Yeah.
you'll probably run out of stuff you can buy before you run out of tokens. Yeah. And I think there's a fist weapon you can buy with one of the token types as well.
Yes, that's what I'm looking. That's what I'm
Pride
saving
or
up for.
greed? I
Pride.
can't remember which. Is it pride?
I'm saving up for pride. That's the piece I'm buying next.
Yeah. So that's shaman talk. Okay, so that was a lot longer than I wanted to spend on what we were doing this week.
Well, because I actually did a few things.
I didn't know you did much, so I didn't expect it.
It wasn't much. We just managed to stretch it out.
So let's pop into our discussion because we're going to discuss some stuff. Falcon Mick has been giving us podcast questions and scenarios and stuff in the Discord every week.
And I also
And I've been
mentioned
enjoying
this week. I also upgraded a lot of things on my computer.
See, that's what I thought you were going to say
Yeah.
when you interrupted me, and then you
That's
went
what
into
I
your
meant
week,
to.
so I just didn't finish
Yeah,
mine.
so things are loading up pretty good.
Nice. Not on that one, though, your home PC, right?
But this one loads up okay because it's only Discord.
Discord should load up pretty well, I think. Okay, so Falcon Mick posted a darn it, what's the word?
A question?
Confirmation. A confirmation from last week because I wasn't sure what the Brawl term he was talking about was. He says Brawl comes from Hearthstone. It's a limited time event which Blizzard implements a crazy rule and gets you to attempt a challenge. Or in Hearthstone, typically it's just a regular match with different rules. The idea basically is to make 1 week any challenge goes server where Blizz can make a crazy change they would never make, and we have a week to play with it. So it's like a 1 week, like oh, this crazy thing has happened, deal with it kind of thing. So that's cool. Yeah, I'd never heard of that. I've never played Hearthstone, so I had no idea what that was. Clarification, is that the word I was trying to think of?
More than likely.
I was trying to think of
We'll have to get
clarification.
some clarification on that.
So then he's posted a podcast question scenario, which I like this one, and this kind of has led into more stuff that we wanted to talk about as well. So he says, if you had to choose, would you go again with a
there's my
fresh
breathing.
2019 server, or what?
I just said, oh, there's my breathing.
Oh, please don't breathe. If you had to choose, would you go again with a fresh 2019 server? I'm guessing he means like the fresh classic servers, or Cataclysm? 2019 server having same cadence, however, with the same change that came in the patches leading up before TBC. So just the removal of batching. Oh, right. Okay. And the ability to store world buffs. I never did the world buff storage. I don't know anything about that.
That'd be 10 gold per.
Is it? Because I wasn't playing anymore when they changed that.
Yeah.
So, and he says, edit, what is it about X expansion you choose that makes you the most drawn to your decision? Okay, so I said I'm going to have to put some thought into that one, and he was surprised that it wasn't an automatic, obviously Kata for me, but I might let you guys answer first, and then I'll go with mine. Well, we've
I've
told
never
you about.
played Cataclysm.
I know, but we've told you about it, right? We've told you about Cataclysm. Some of the changes, old world flying, streamlined questing in the zones, a revamp of most of the old world zones for new quests.
See, the thing is, I feel like I would like Cataclysm because it's different.
Yeah, we did
Because
a
I'm
whole
getting
episode
bored
on
of
how
just
we
doing the
think
same
you would like
quests over.
Cataclysm.
Yeah. That's where you said that I'm everything that's wrong with the modern WoW player.
And I stand by that.
Which I'll have my new soundboard. That's the first thing I'm going to bind into it.
So I feel like so you're saying you think you'd probably rather Kata rather than redoing Classic.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to redo it again.
That's fair.
Yeah. I was going to give the generic C answer and say, oh, I like them both. But no, I'm going to make a decision here. I'm going to make it cut and dry. Because even though I'd like to play both, I think I would prefer a fresh start.
Okay.
Because when we played,
Like if you had to choose, you would like both though.
I'm going to make a decision here just I don't want to be on the fence. So if I had to choose between one or the other, I'd say a fresh 2019 start. Because when Classic came out, as it's been well documented, I started originally in the TBC era.
Yeah.
And when we played the Classic 2019, though we started with a later patch, it was still my first experience and I'm not going to say pure because people will jump on me for it.
I feel like it was pretty similar to the old experience.
Yeah. It was my first experience with the old experience. And for the most part, except for when my friends left me and made me become traitors to the Alliance, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, if I did it again, it would have to be Horde. Then we can start to handle that poison boss a lot easier.
Yeah, that did suck as Alliance. But we also weren't a good guild. So a lot of Alliance guilds killed Visitus. Yeah. It wasn't impossible.
Yeah. I would want to do it again. And this time not work for somebody else to get that stupid mount. The bug mount, the opening of AQ.
But the thing is, it's impossible to do it without a guild helping you do it.
Yes, I know.
So, I mean, the only options really is to join someone else's guild and help whoever they decide gets it, or start your own guild and decide that you're the one that's going to get it. Like it's a crappy implementation of that mount.
Yeah.
Like the fact that only one person can get it because of the amount of work it is. No, like that's ridiculous. Like
No.
it just is. I don't like. I like almost everything about the AQ opening. I don't like that.
Now, one of the things that I did miss out on this launch of Classic, when I initially started in retail, had a shaman, and one of my BIS for a while was Feet of the Lynx, or I wanted to twink something out. And Feet of the Lynx, one of the drops says, "Oh, it's Zod," and he roams around the Barrens. And I looked for him forever until I realized he was an AQ event person. So I was hoping to run into Zod, but then we were over on the Alliance, so I was never in the Barrens. I still want to encounter Zod.
Feet of the Lynx is just a BOE world drop, though.
I want to see Zod.
Okay,
Because
that's fair.
it's like a giant guy that walks around and goes, "Kneel before the power of Zod." Come on.
But
That's
do you
awesome.
know where I've gotten a couple Feet of the Lynx?
The auction house?
Stockades.
Oh, cool. No, I want
I've
to see
had it
Zod.
drop in there multiple times.
I want Zod to say, "Kneel before the power of Zod."
Does he
Come
say
on.
that in game?
Yeah.
Okay, neat. I didn't know that was an NPC in game. I've never heard of that.
That's just, so those that don't know, and I'm sure most do, Superman 2 reference.
Yes, I've never seen Superman 2, but
I've never
I
seen
believe
Superman.
you that it's a
Speaking of references, I have not yet heard from Bob with my little Schneider shout out last time. I wonder.
I don't know. I think you got to call him out. I don't think he listened to our last episode.
Yeah.
He might have. Who knows?
So yeah, 2019 server, a new classic.
So my answer. Okay, and I see you say you didn't want to take the easy way out and say both. So I'm not going to take the easy way out and say both. But I mean, it's so hard to choose. I'd almost prefer somebody else choose for me. Because I do want to play Cataclysm again. Because when I played it before, I wasn't really playing. Like, I leveled up some characters, I did the quest lines, I did the zones. I think I did 1 or 2 raids. I very briefly joined a guild, and I want to say Firelands, was that a thing?
Yes.
Okay, I think I did some Firelands, like a raid or 2 in Firelands.
That's where they beefed up a bunch of people. We got some NPCs to go with us, and one of them was who's the dude that lost his wife?
In game?
Yes.
I have no idea.
He's in the Barrens, and we got to go find her
Oh,
body.
Mancrick.
Mancrick joins us at a higher level in the Firelands.
Really? So he must have gotten over his wife being
Either
dead.
that or it's something in Hydro, but we do get an NPC
Okay.
that we have to call out. I think this is more in Hydro than the Firelands, actually.
Yeah, see, because I feel like I didn't fully experience Cataclysm.
Yeah.
I did the archaeology thing. I didn't see hardly any of the raid zones. I barely did any 5-mans.
And doesn't in Kata, I don't know if it's Kata or Pando, I think it's Kata, doesn't, I keep forgetting their names. The Tauren that hides out in the inn, he gets a pretty good buff soon. A pretty big-
Gammon?
Yeah, Gammon. He goes out and levels up.
Really?
He comes
Good
in
for
at
him.
top level.
It's about time he left that in.
Yeah. And so people don't attack him anymore unless they have a
Okay.
group with them.
So yeah, that's. I didn't actually answer the question yet. Yeah, if I had to choose between the two, between the fact that I don't think I fully experienced Cataclysm before, and the fact that I don't think Sam would play Classic with me, I'd probably choose Cataclysm. If I had to choose. But why should I have to choose? So here's where I want to kind of go into,
Because it's a hypothetical?
I know, and that was my answer to the hypothetical. If I have to choose, hypothetically, I choose Kata. It's a reluctant choice because I would totally go back and play Classic again. I don't know if I'd say it's more fun. It's simpler and it's more nostalgic for me.
Okay, I have a question. When you say go back to Classic,
New server,
new server,
yes.
Doing the same quest over again?
is that not just like making a new character right now?
Yes.
Because you go through the
except-
exact same quests.
Yes. You're looking at it as playing the same content again.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it as playing the same content again, but Yeah, that's really it. You see it as a negative, I see it as a positive.
And it's a progression.
And it's you know what, I look back and I say, okay, if there's a fresh classic server coming out next month, I can say, okay, I want to do things a little differently this time. Instead of playing a paladin, maybe I'll play a warrior and try and go all out and be one of those top DPS. And
Warrior,
instead
paladin
of
are the same
joining,
thing.
they're not the same thing. And instead of joining a lame guild, like maybe I'll go and maybe I'll try and get into one of the good guilds. Maybe I'll try and maybe I want to try and be, you know, the best player I can be, kind of thing. Like there's that fresh
those
start.
guilds would never take me.
No, maybe, I don't know. If you got good enough at priest, they would.
Also,
If you're a good healer, they will take you. People like good healers.
and also, it's not the same as making a new character now, because we're talking about levels 1 to 60.
Yeah.
So
it's
you-
no wrath talents, no et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. But if you start leveling up now and you're just starting a new character, you're going to skip past all the raids and all the actual progression that occurred. We're heading onto a server with like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
Where even Molten Core is not open yet. What's the first one that opens? Is it Molten Core?
So what you do on a fresh server, right, is you level up to 50-ish, okay? And then before Molten Core comes out, you want to get your pre-raid BIS gear. So you're going to go through your list, and you're going to want to do Strathholm runs and Upper Blackrock Spire runs. And is Dire Maul out right away? Or is that a later phase?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I feel like Dire Maul's not out right away. Yeah. But you want to go and you want to look at your list and you want to make yourself a checklist and you want to say, okay, I want to get these items before I start raiding. Yes. And then Molten Core comes out and you're back to progressing through Molten Core. Like you're going in there fresh without a bunch of great gear, and it's like a new challenge. I use that in air quotes because it's neither new nor a challenge, but it's like a new challenge. And then you work at getting your guild Molten Core geared, and then Blackwing Lair opens up, and everyone rushes into Blackwing Lair. It's the whole, it's experiencing that progression through the content again. It's not just like leveling. It's not like leveling a character now because, like Al said, you skip all that stuff and you go straight to Northrend.
Okay.
It's a smaller, tighter cycle.
I still don't think I would want to do it again.
You'd probably still prefer Cataclysm. But I'm saying there's an upside to a fresh server. Like there's a reason why there are private servers that reboot as a fresh server every so often. Like people like that, and it's enjoyable. It's what I do with EverQuest.
There's still classic.
I just started a fresh classic TLP server last month. It's and you're back to level 50 and not access to most of the content. Like you're slowly working your way through. There's an appeal to it. So where I want to go from that is, you said you asked a question. I don't feel like loading up again. You said something about like future of WoW. Where do we want to see WoW go? What I would like to see is talking about the fact that I would like to play Kata, but I would also enjoy playing a fresh server, and also talking about how I just started a new fresh server on EQ. I think WoW should do something closer to what EQ does. And I know I've said this before.
Progression servers.
But they should do... Well, WoW Classic is a progression server. That's the thing. Like, they're already doing it, but it's so slow. What they need to do is they need to compress the expansions. And they need to release a new fresh server once a year. So every, like, I don't know, what's a good month to release a server? Pick a month. What do you think the best month to release a fresh server is? October? That's when Classic came out. August? Why August? I mean, you don't need a reason. I'm just curious why you said August. You sounded confident.
Isn't that when they released it last?
I thought it was October.
Regardless. October,
I don't know. October, August, doesn't matter.
I didn't even think to give this any thought, so I don't care.
Look, the way you answered, it sounded like you
August.
had a
Told him to
reason.
pick
August.
August? Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's my anniversary of work of a whole fresh new batch of vacation time.
Oh, there you go. August then. So
1 week vacation.
My
1 to
vacation
60.
kit starts over in July.
nice. So let's say, okay, every August, release a new server. Or, a batch of servers. Because WoW has enough players that you could have a batch of servers. And take current Classic, which is on Kata, crunch a couple of the servers together. Merge Ash Candy and Benediction, please.
Nope.
This whole thing isn't just to suggest that, but yeah, merge Ash Candy and Benediction. Crunch the servers down a bit because you're going to be splitting your population, but you're going to have the same number of players, maybe more. So you're going to be splitting your population, sure, but have that fresh server come out once a year, and over the course of that year, at the very least, finish Classic. So at the very least, be done Nax July of that year. If that means add an extra drop to each boss in each raid, do that. Fine.
Yeah,
if
they would
that
have to speed
means
up the loot, that's
if
for
that
sure.
means speeding up the spawn of stuff like Black Lotus, do it. Sure. If that means crunching the raid reset down to like 5 days instead of 7, I don't know if that would work, but sure, do that. Whatever you have to do to make sure that you have that classic era done in 1 year.
I don't know if they could really crunch the resets because people would plan their raids on a weekly basis.
I just pulled that out of my head. I hadn't thought that through.
I don't think it was your head you pulled it out of.
I pulled it out of somewhere. But do whatever you've got to do to make it realistic. And you are a big game developer, Blizzard. I'm talking to you now. You are a big game developer. Activision? What's the company? Whatever they are. You can do this. You can figure it out. Figure out a way.
I think it's Microsoft now, or at least heading that way.
Is it? Did they buy Activision? I don't care.
I think
who owns
they're
it.
in the process.
But do whatever you got to do to have us run Classic through the end of Classic Nax in 1 year, and then in August, open your fresh server. So you've got a new fresh server starting at fresh, and the Classic server that you've been playing on rolls forward to TBC. So now you got a choice, or not. You can keep playing on TBC on your current server, or you can go back and roll fresh. Or why not both?
And
Keep a character on both.
keep the freaking Joyous Journeys or some version of it out there.
Oh, yeah. Speed up leveling. That was the other thing. There's no reason why WoW needs to have leveling at the same speed as it has for the last 20 years. There's no reason for it. We've all done it. We don't need to spend 4 weeks leveling up to 60.
Yeah, and those of us that haven't done it won't know what they're missing.
You've done it. You've leveled up.
Those of us in the human race.
Okay, you said us, like I thought you were talking about you. Yeah, crunch leveling. Give everybody make it Joyous Journeys, but 125% permanent on these servers, so that you don't have to spend half the server leveling. Then, when the year's over, you release your new progression server. Start at Classic. You've got a server starting at Classic, and now you've got a server on TBC. Make sure that TBC server is done the end of that year. Because the next server, you start your new server, you've got a TVC, you've got a Wrath. And just keep doing that so you always have a server in each era, or a couple servers. I mean, and if you reach Kata and you've lost too many players to going back to original, just crunch the servers down. And maybe you're down to one server going through Kata and Mist of Pandaria. As long as you've got a healthy population on that server, which you will, then you should be fine. Yeah. Just keep that rotation. That's what I would love to see WoW do, because we're not at that point anymore with WoW where we need to slog through 2 years of Classic. Is that what it took? A year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah.
It was well over a year. I think it was 18 months. I think they're doing per expansion now, roughly, right? About 18 months? 18 months is too long. Crunch it down to a year. We can get it all done in a year. Right now, we're having... I've noticed in Wrath, for the last month of Nax, everyone was bored of Nax and waiting for Ulduar. For the last month of Ulduar, everyone's sick of running Ulduar, and they want the new phase. You don't need to drag it out this long. Crunch it down. Keep people experiencing new content on a tighter schedule, and it keeps people more interested.
Yeah, that would eliminate one of the bosses that Bob keeps talking about.
The roster boss?
Yeah.
It would help. It would help in the sense that it would keep people engaged all the time, but it would hurt in the fact that you'd have multiple eras open on the servers. But that said, people that are craving that fresh server feel, they just go play private servers anyways.
Yeah, Blizzard. They're
so
still
people
doing
are still
it.
gonna
They're just
people are still
gonna get their
gonna
money
do.
elsewhere.
They're still gonna play what they want to play. Yeah. Just make it available, and people will play on your servers. Make it good. Make it available and make it good, and it'll work.
Yeah. That being said, as far as expansions go, you feel that Sam would like Kata. I think she would. I think for some reason she would really enjoy the Mist of Pandaria when we got
Oh,
there.
probably.
Because it's different.
You can find weapons lying on the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean it's different. I think you'd like it.
Not just weapons. There's a bunch of things, and they're account bound, but they're not heirloom. So they're good for a level, but they're powerful. They'll last you a few levels, and you can throw it around your.
See, Pandaria is where it started to lose me. I didn't
Yeah.
hate it, but I didn't like it.
Yeah, seeing Thrall go over the edge was a little bit good. Seeing him wipe out the young Rin.
I feel like if I played it again, I'd enjoy it more. But at the time, I just didn't. I didn't enjoy it at the time.
They let me into the beta for pandas, actually. And I did it, and it was nothing like the gameplay, but I went into it once, and I'm surprised because my computer was crap. But I turned it on. It was too much work just to play it, so I turned it off and waited for it to come out.
So what would you like to see for the future of WoW?
I like your ideas. I honestly think we should be doing that. Restarting it for the people that want to restart it. Keep it going for people that want to keep it going. And when you reach a drop-off, then just start over. Because you have your retail out there already. You know, everybody can do their big...
Retail is where it's. Retail's always going to be there.
Yeah.
They're going to keep making expansions for retail, no matter if anybody wants them or not.
And you know what? Evil or not, just leave the tokens in.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, I don't think the tokens hurt anything. I don't think the tokens have had any effect on anything, to be honest. But yeah, and what was I going to say? Yeah, keep doing the end patch as well. Like I feel like in Classic, I'm trying to remember back because it was like 3 or 4 years ago now. But when Classic came out, did they go through the thing where, you know, this changed at X point originally, so we're going to change it at this point? Like, did they have content patches, or did they just start at the end?
They had content patches, I believe.
So did they have points? Because I definitely don't remember the details of original Classic, and I barely remember the details of Classic. But were there points where like certain bosses were nerfed, or were there points where certain drops were changed?
I believe so, but I don't remember specifically, but I do believe that there were changes.
Okay, so don't do that. Just have it set from the beginning. Like have a set plan. Be like, this phase is this phase is this. Drop that weird in between phase where you have no battlegrounds. Don't do that. That's silly. Just have the battlegrounds in from the start. I know in Classic they didn't introduce the battlegrounds until, you know, X number of months into the game. But there's no reason to do that. Why would you do that? People want a PvP, and do people want a world PvP? Because I don't.
I don't know, man. Fighting at Terran Mill is kind of fun.
It is no. I'm not saying I don't want it to exist. I don't want that to be the honor system. I don't want that to be the main PvP system.
Oh no, yeah. No,
It's fine that exists.
I like
but,
Warsong Gulch. Structured battlegrounds are good too. I want both.
Yeah, so have the battlegrounds in from the start. There's no reason not to. It's silly not to. That's what else? Do you have anything to add to this, Sam?
No. I don't know WoW as well as you guys do.
What do you think would make it better?
Different
Have you ever
quests.
been so Cataclysm? So have you ever been playing and thought, okay, I would like for this to be different?
All the time.
What?
Quests.
So you're just bored
Her
doing
life.
different quests.
I'm just sick of doing the same quests over again. Am I the only one who gets bored of that? Yeah, we made that clear last time.
But like, I know for myself, I'll just do something different. Like if I'm leveling,
But the quests are all the same.
yeah, but there's different zones. You don't need to do all the zones. Like if I'm leveling, like we did Horde before and we're Alliance now, completely different quests. If you're Alliance, you can start. You've got your different races you can start with for starters. Like if you're human, you go Elwyn Forest, Westfall. Is it Westfall? Is that the name of the place?
Yes.
Red Ridge, Duskwood, Darkshire, Duskwood. Darkshire's in Duskwood, yeah. And then like down to Stranglethorn. You go that route. You want something different? Play a dwarf.
Isn't Stranglethorn the same for...
Stranglethorn's always the same, but there's other places you can go. You don't have to go to Stranglethorn. You can go to Badlands instead. You can go to. Are there alliance quests in what's the mountains above Barrens?
Stone Talon.
Stone Talon.
Yes.
Is there alliance quests? You can go there.
It's at the top.
You could do some Ashenvale. If you're a dwarf, then you go Dun Moreau and then Loch Modan and then Wetlands and then Arathi, I guess. Like there's different leveling routes you can take. If you're a night elf for some reason, you do the night elf areas. That's a weird choice, but whatever.
If you want to be a druid.
The Draenei, you're on a completely different path until like level 30. Like you can shake things up by doing different leveling routes. And even when you hit like your 40s, there's an option where you can go. Like you could do mostly dungeons if you want. You can do a couple different zones for experience. Can you PvP for experience now? Or was that added later? I guess you can
now. You couldn't before.
You used to get, you know what and I don't know what expansion they added this, but there was a point in the retail version of WoW as it progressed. I was getting bored.
Tired.
No, I know. You said you were tired before we even started. There was a point, I don't know if you remember this, but there was a point in the retail progression where they added experience for professions.
Yes.
So you'd go, if you're mining or herbalizing, was it Kata?
Yeah.
It might have been Kata. You get experience. So you don't even it would take forever, but you don't even have to kill anything or do any quests. You can level up by just doing your professions. And it might have been Kata because you got experience for archaeology. You could you get experience doing archaeology, mining, and herbalism. I don't think you got any for skinning.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yes.
So yeah, you could just do your professions for experience. There's so many different ways you can level. You can level as a partner, like as a pair with somebody else, and just do this or whatever. Like there's different ways. Like every time I level a character, it's a little different than the time before, except for paladins. If I'm leveling the same paladin over and over again, but I wouldn't do that. That's weird.
No, it's also your play style. If you're just looking at quests, you're doing the same quests over and over. So right now, I would log in. I would do fishing, cooking, and trial quests. So I'm doing those over and over again. But I'm building up to build up my character. But you can get on and you can say, I'm just going to do this time. I'll have time for a dungeon, or I'm getting on for a raid. So you don't have to be on. If you have nothing to do, then don't log on.
Play something else.
That is why
or
I haven't
watch TV.
logged on.
I did see a bed in Josh's house in Valheim with your name on it.
Oh, yeah, I was on there briefly. Did not enjoy it.
What, did you make a bed?
Yep.
And say, okay, this is boring?
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
You didn't even sleep in the bed? You had to have clicked the bed. It has your name on it.
She did sleep in the bed once, yes.
You should come on when I come on. Come on when I'm on.
You were on.
On Valheim?
Yeah.
When you were on?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Al. It was someone else.
Someone else was.
Yeah, it wasn't Al, though. It was someone
What did they do with you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Did he just get you to farm? Well, I'll take you someplace where you can die. Oogly and I were on the other day, and
Maybe it was him who was on. No, I don't know.
Might have been. I don't know.
Mean Gene.
Maybe.
we decided that just fresh after killing boss 2 the Elder, we thought we'd try Bone Mass, and we were barely chipping away at him, and we couldn't sustain the fight. So then we had to run from him. We aggroed a whole bunch of stuff. We were fighting for a whole day in game. And we aggroed a bunch of things, and then an event started, and we just left the zone. But it was hilarious, and it didn't record the voices, unfortunately, but that would have been a wicked video to show. That was just hilarious.
Just making sure I didn't miss anything on Discord.
Or if you ever get bored, then you're bordering a couple zones, you aggro a couple bosses. Like I got a troll and abomination to fight.
They'll fight each other?
Yeah.
Neat.
Abomination and a Lox. Who would win that one?
I think I already said, and I think I was right.
Okay.
An abomination.
Or better yet, if you get a zone where two biomes meet and you just hear constant battle and you go over, there's like resources all over the ground there.
Do they fight? They only fight if you're nearby, though, right? Doesn't the world kind of pause when you're not nearby?
It does, but you're close enough to activate it before you even see what's going on.
Yeah, but like say a tree falls in the woods and nobody's there to hear it. Does it make a sound?
So if the tree falls in the woods, if it's going like this and then you go through, when you come back, it'll go like this.
So what if a tree falls in the woods and it remains completely upright? Have you seen that?
Well, it's
The Valheim clips where you can cut down a tree and like very rarely it will just remain upright as a log.
I've not seen that.
No? Oh, I've seen that video a few times. You're not.
I've killed myself
You're
with
not
a
in
tree.
the same part of the internet as I am, apparently.
Oh, the tree deaths have been the best. I had a tree come slingshotting at me from a troll once.
It's been a while since I've died to a tree. I've learned that they'll kill me, so I avoid them.
All I
Josh's
can remember
pond almost drowned me.
there was one spot. There was one spot where it was just like we were in a meadows. It was Brad's base, and it slimmed down and went into a black forest.
Mm-hmm.
And then we pulled a troll out, and we were fighting the troll just on this little neck of land. And the troll hit Brad and killed him, and I laughed, but it knocked down a tree, and whatever he did swung the tree, and the tree came flying at me and killed me too. I was like,
Oh, nice.
That's what you get for laughing.
it was hilarious. I've never seen something like that before. It was pretty good.
See, 90% of my deaths in Valheim come from working at heights because I tend to build like big things
And then you fall off.
and then I fall off them a lot.
You are going to like the Mistlands.
Probably. That's why I started playing again.
Yeah.
On your server with you guys. I was like, oh, I want to see the Mistlands. And then we ended up just sitting and building and haven't killed Bone Mass yet.
Yeah, well-
when I was on, and we're nowhere near the Mistlands.
Well, I mean, I
so
can
I
go and
lost
kill-
interest a little bit.
I can go and kill bone mass.
I know, and I
Anybody
could
can,
too, but I
but-
wanted to do it with the people that were playing, and it was always like, oh, well, we'll do it another day kind of thing.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to push this.
I haven't
Is
even killed the Elder yet.
in my routine, I've gone over this thing. I'm going, what the hell is this? I was going from a mountain, from a plains in a mountain border. I'm going through, and there's this giant purple curtain here. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, it's the Mistlands.
Oh, I haven't even seen it
It
yet.
was
I haven't even
so
seen
eerie.
the Mistlands.
You can't see through it, but they have a cape, a new back piece.
Oh, neat. What's it made out of?
It's made out of feathers.
Oh, are there feathered things in the Mistlands? Can you build in the Mistlands?
Yes.
I want to build a Mistlands.
Hey, marble. Marble's a new piece.
Base. Oh, I want the new
Round stairs.
stuff. See, I want the
But
new stuff. See, here's the problem
The
I
cape.
have.
So this is you building and you fall.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Nice. So
Slow fall cape.
that's kind of cool. So
so
here's the
Josh won't
problem.
die.
Here's the problem I have. Yeah, that would be great for my building because like I've built so much stuff where I know there's this one thing on this other server I was playing on. I was building this massive like arena, like this big stadium, and I was trying to get the roof all worked out.
I remember
and
that.
kept falling off the roof into the middle and just splatting on the ground. And I don't know how many times I died falling off the
You,
roof of
you,
that thing.
you know what you should do? Always keep some useless piece of something in your bag so that every time you die, you can just leave it there. You come back to see Josh's thing. It's like a graveyard of tombstones. Oh,
Yeah, I should. It's so I have this urge to just build up, and then gravity's a terrible thing.
I might make a graveyard.
We talked about that.
A graveyard?
Yeah, we were gonna make one. Well, why? Maybe it was somebody else. I'm sure we.
I don't think I've ever had that conversation, but I'll have it now.
So maybe it was the other people I was playing with. What we were going to do is we were going to have one of the players was going to make a graveyard, and everybody that played on the server would go die in the graveyard once. So we'd have a collection of tombstones for everyone who played on the server.
I like it. I like it a lot. Let's do
Let's
it.
do that then. Even Sam was on for a day, so she should go die in our graveyard. So here's what I was
A
saying.
day?
Here's the
I think
problem
I'm
I
on there
have
for like 5 minutes.
during a day.
Oh.
So here's a problem that I have. I want to play WoW. I want to get my gear up on my paladin. I want to level a shaman. I want to level a warrior. There's so much stuff I want to do. But I also want to play EQ because I'm in a guild. I'm in a new guild there because I left the old one because they were like really creepily obsessed with Hitler. So I left that guild and I've moved to a new guild and I want to raid with them. And I want to try Diablo 4 and I want to play Diablo 4 and I want to spend more time on Valheim and I want to catch up on Star Trek and I want to watch this and this. I don't have that many hours. Why are you laughing at me, Sam?
You do understand you have a family too, right?
This is the problem that I'm trying to describe.
Let's quit our jobs and
It's
put it
not
all
the
into
family,
this.
it's the job.
Let's quit our jobs and put it all into this. We can do this.
I
We
don't
would
know.
need to make a lot more money off of it than we're making right now.
We have young kids.
Sell
They're
them.
expensive.
Sell them.
I guess we could. Well,
No
one
one-
of them's old enough to get a job and start contributing. We should
Would
have
he-
him support
we,
us.
We should get him to start contributing, maybe.
Well, I mean, he's been in school.
Well, he graduates next
And
Wednesday.
he hasn't graduated yet. We'll have this discussion after. You can't force a high school student to
No.
work full time and contribute.
Did I
to
tell
this.
you my idea? I'll tell you my idea
Yeah,
after
tell me
we're
after.
not
I feel like
recording.
it's not.
It's not
podcast
important.
applicable. But yeah, see, that's my problem. There's all this stuff that I want to do. I just don't have enough time to do it all because I need a job. Because if I don't have a job, then I'm homeless, and then it's really hard to do all this stuff when you don't have like electricity. So it's kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But what can you do? Stop sleeping.
Just quit.
I'll stop that. If I stop sleeping, that'll give me an extra like 6 to 7 hours.
Honestly, you came to bed a lot earlier than I was expecting when you said you were going to go raid with Bob last night.
Yeah.
Well-
You came to bed at like 11. I thought you were going to come to bed at like 4 or 5.
Here's the thing. A, it wasn't a pug. It was Bob's Guild doing their weekend run. So they were somewhat competent. And B, Bob had another raid to be to, so he had to cut it off at a
Oh.
certain time. So he's like, everybody, I got to go. We got to finish this now. So, and we also started, I started on Thorum. Like they were already half done the raid when I joined. So I did get a chest piece though. I got the tier chest. No weapon.
Would Bob let me raid or am I too not good?
You should ask Bob. I don't know.
Bob,
But
is
you should
Sam
also get
too not good.
You should also get good. Just practice as your priest. We need to do more dungeons when the new content comes out, because I'm not planning on.
I'll get you a video on how to
We've
get
got
good.
what? Holy
Okay.
crap! 2 days? Is it the 18th already?
Yes.
Oh, I was like, we've got another week. We've got 2 days. So I was just going to say, I'm not planning on playing much between now and I guess Tuesday. Wow.
World of Warcraft.
That's soon. I wasn't planning on playing WoW between now and Tuesday because I might as well take a break. Might as well wait until the new patch because then I'm going to want to play a lot because I'm going to want to catch up and see this
The
new
thing
stuff.
is, we're on holidays starting the 20.
8th, 5th, 4th. I don't know.
I start the Saturday, you start the Monday.
Yeah. We're on a week of holidays, but we're also going to be busy.
One of the days.
Don't we have people visiting us?
Does that ever stop you?
It stops you.
It's true.
But yeah, I want to.
And they're only down for 2 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought they were down for longer. So I want to. Yeah, I'm kind of saving my playtime for that. I'm probably not even going to log into WoW today. I might not log in tomorrow.
Boo.
The
Those
thing
are the
is,
days I
like,
have
because
to
of
play.
Joy,
Do you want to play?
I do.
Because I want to. I want to do the
Well,
new stuff. What
what
am
I
I
was
going to log
going
in and
to
do
say-
right now?
well, no, he has to go out later.
No, I'm saying what would I do right now?
We're recording, so nothing.
No, I mean in WoW. Like, there's nothing I want to do in WoW right now.
There's
Run
things
my
that I
shaman
want to
through some things for some
do.
gear. Sorry.
Yeah, that.
That's
I want to
You
do
want
all
gear?
of the dungeons. Like, you already
World
said
Tour.
that.
when the beta dungeon. We're going to do a world tour when the beta dungeons come out on Tuesday.
I know, but
They're
I
not
wanna,
out yet.
But
We can do some dungeons if you want to do some.
I just
want
want to do for the achievement.
Oh, and also for the news, we're going to be coming in towards the end of the long range trip soon.
2 words. Yes.
Words.
That also starts on Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
So there's another thing. Everything
Not
that I
done-
want,
you guys will be done before me.
Yes.
not on the characters we play. Everything that I want to do right now, I can't do until Tuesday.
So
Okay. See,
we're going to see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
he is some days. What?
And then come Tuesday, I'm back at work. Thanks.
Quit your
Thanks
job.
a lot. I almost did this
Come
week.
live
It
in
was
our basement.
So rough.
No, you don't want to live in our basement.
Cool.
It is cool.
Well,
Well, my place is cool too. I just turn on my AC.
we should have just turned this into a little bachelor pad, this little room for him.
Yeah, we looked into that. Do you remember what they wanted? How expensive that was to
Yeah, I
convert
know,
this
but
into
we
an
could have
apartment?
made him pay for it.
Yeah.
Hell, isn't that much money?
Also, I wouldn't stand you coming into my apartment every day just to record your podcast.
Well, this room
I
would.
wouldn't get my Star Trek corner.
I would put Star Trek. Yeah.
Oh. Where is it?
Oh. Last time somebody said oh
stopped.
to me, it was maybe 9 months later.
We need to have a talk about comic books when we're done this.
Okay.
I framed them all.
As long as I have time.
Oh, right. Yeah, you go. We should probably end this because, Al has to go. It's
Yeah, we
1, 2, 3,
framed
4.
them. He was very, very, very frustrated.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, dollar store frames frustrate you that much.
Well,
They were
kept
falling apart.
Well, see,
Some of them were already broken.
See, I had a few fall apart on me, but then I just learned what was making them fall apart and I adjusted.
I did too, but
Sam
some of them
did
were
not.
some of them were already cracked.
Yeah.
And you couldn't extend the pins. But that's not the point. We should finish this because Al has to go, and we're at about our mark. An hour and 45 minutes seems to be our standard,
Yeah, give or take.
give or take. We all get tired after an hour and a half.
I was tired before we started today.
And we start to talk a little slower and get a little more sidetracked. So
Was,
do your closing thing.
I was up in my break room the other day.
Oh, we're doing the Al story. It's time for almost interesting work stories with Al.
One of my coworkers
for
walked by.
Intro.
And he had hot sauce from the food court. He goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna have hot sauce for lunch today." I said, "That's great." He goes, "No, I'm kidding. I got some tacos over there. Have some hot sauce and tacos." I said, "Last time I had hot sauce and tacos, she complained for days."
Thanks, Al. That was almost interesting.
Bye. I'm out. I'm
Do we have
done.
to end on that
No,
note?
let's
Well,
just.
okay, well, let's go with this one. We had a couple people coming through the register, and I wasn't the cashier. They're talking to the cashier. I heard them say, "This is for a party." I guess they were buying a lot of junk food. And I looked up and said, "Oh, was that an invitation?" And they said, "Well, if you want to come, it's a bachelorette party." I said, "Hey, I can be your dancer." You pay by the pound.
Oh,
Oh,
you said it, not me. I didn't say anything.
They didn't say anything else after that.
they probably just wanted out as fast as they could.
No, they were good. We had fun. Those are my 2 work stories. I got a few others, but they're not suitable like my racist.
Those were the
coworker.
suitable ones?
Hot sauce and tacos.
Man. All right. Let's do your closing comments.
That's outrageous.
Every time.
Isn't over.